Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Love in Progress. Today is going to be a special edition of Love in Progress. Love in Progress, it's a podcast for career professionals who are ready to date, ready to find love. You know, whether you've been divorced or widowed or just need help with love, that's what this podcast is for. And today, this episode is called Love Unscripted. And it's called Love Unscripted because a lot happened for me today that I really need to talk about. I'm not currently on dating apps, but I am open. So I'll put it like that. I'm not aggressively looking for someone right now. I deleted the dating apps back in August. You know, every time I do a show, I'll give you a little bit of information about what's going on in my life or what has happened in my life. But today was just one of those dating days that needs to be discussed from both men and women. So I'm coming on here to talk about what happened today and just let everyone tell me your thoughts in the comments. Now, when you're telling me your thoughts in the comments, please keep it respectful. This is not the podcast where we are dogging each other out. This is a podcast where we are trying to learn each other so that we can have a good relationship. So if you want to make a comment, please be respectful. If you are not respectful, your comment will be deleted and I will ban you from my page. I do not deal with disrespect. I am not disrespectful, so I do not accept disrespect. I roll out. And I don't argue. I'm not one to argue because I don't think as adults we should argue. We can agree to disagree and just move the heck on. And I have no problem giving someone the last word because I know it's an ego thing where you can say, okay, I'm ending this conversation, and someone has to say, well, go ahead and end it then. I'll just end it. I don't go back and forth. I don't have time for it. Many moons ago, I developed a concept that I call energy conservation. I'm not going to waste my energy on you if I do not care about you. So if I address a concern with you, it means I care about you. And as adults, we know when we're doing bullshit to people. And some people may think that they've gotten away with the bullshit with me because I don't respond. I just walk away. But trust me, I know. I'm just tired of the BS to argue. For what? I'm not going to argue with someone who is not going to be in my life. I don't allow anyone that energy. Even though yet here, I'm about to talk about the situation because I need to get it out. I need to vent because I know that others out there have probably gone through something simple or similar, or may go through something like this. And hopefully I'll give you a new approach to handling something like this. So this morning, I was doing a WhatsApp blast about Love in Progress. I have like 2 WhatsApp groups that I run where I'll do blasts where, you know, I'll give a little blurb about Love in Progress and, you know, the link and everything like that. So after I did that, I decided to go beyond that and do something that I've never done before in terms of promotion, because I've had these 2 groups for at least 4 or 5 years. So the people in the groups, they're used to seeing stuff from me every now and then. So it's not any of you guys. Mwah. Nuki love, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all have been there since the beginning. You guys, many of you have been there. So this isn't about you guys, but you guys know I am very transparent. I am very open. So this video may be even more so for the new people who have joined so they understand the type of person that I am. So in deciding to do something new, the first thing I did, I started to go down my WhatsApp chats. And anyone who wasn't in the broadcast that I do, I decided to send it. This is because not everybody wants to see promotions and stuff like that. And this isn't something that I'm going to do like once a week to the people who aren't in my group. It may be something I do like quarterly just to give people a reminder, because I'm trying to grow my YouTube. And for those of you who watch, please like, share, tell your friends. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's do this. So I'm going down WhatsApp and I'm sending it out. So then I go to my text message, sending it out. Now, what I need you guys to understand is, while I'm dating, just because me and someone may not make it, I guess you can say I'm lazy, or I'll blame it on my ADHD, because I don't necessarily delete people. I don't delete people, and I very seldomly block people, because it's really not that serious for me. Because honestly, if I delete you, if I delete your number and you try to reach back out to me, I don't know who you are, and I really don't answer unknown messages, and I very seldomly answer unknown texts unless someone identifies who they are and who they are and pretty much what they want. I have had my cell phone number for 26 years. So I just wanted to let you guys understand my thought process and how I'm looking at it. 26 years. So many people have had my number, not have it, yada, yada, yada. You don't identify yourself, I'm not going to talk to you. And I am queen of, who is this? Okay, and you're texting me for, because like I said, I don't play games. And I have no problem standing up for myself in a respectable way. I have to keep saying that. In a respectable way, I am always going to stand up for myself. So I'm texting, and I'm seeing, guys' names that I met on dating apps. Now, the way that I organize my contacts, if I meet you on a dating site, I put you down, and we exchange numbers. I put you down as your first name plus the dating site that you came from. So let's say I met someone named Greg. In my phone, he would be Greg Bumble or Greg Hinge or Greg Facebook or Greg Match. Yeah, I've been on a few. It is what it is. I figure variety is a spice of life, and you never know what you're going to get. But I have realized since relocating to Atlanta that it's pretty much the same men that are on all the websites. And I'm about to digress. I'm about to go on a tangent, because it's funny to me how the same men will keep matching me or liking me, swiping for me, and they don't remember me. So it's like, how invested are you in truly dating? Not that I remember everyone who, but I know when a face looks familiar. And I'll be like, okay, I think I've met this one already. And I'll go back through other apps, because, for those of you that are on dating apps, they keep a log of people that you've matched with, unless you unfriend them, unless you unlike them or delete the app. So, I do kind of a checks and balances. That's why I keep everything open, and so that I kind of know what I'm doing. And maybe this might be helping someone on how to navigate the dating apps and keep yourself sane and know who is who or where to look for whoever's background information. Because we're mostly mature. We're all adults, and things happen, and you may talk to someone and then it may fall off because life starts to life, and then it may come back like a month or two later and you're like, oh yeah, let me go see what his information was about just to make sure. So one of the gentlemen who I sent my YouTube information to, he responded, who is this? And I said, we met on Hinge back in August. I told him my real name. Excuse me, because I use my real name on dating app. Told him my real name. And he's like, I still don't remember you. Can you send me some pictures? Send me some pictures from your Hinge profile. I sent him some pictures. I told him they weren't from my Hinge profile. Actually, in our correspondence, I specifically told the beginning of the last correspondence that we had, I had specifically told him, I just wanted to follow up with you to let you know that I'm about to delete the apps. I didn't want you to think that I ghosted you in case you went back on the app and was looking for my information. So when she replied, that's very sweet. So as I was rereading the text exchange between the two of us, I noticed that the reason why we lost communication was I'm here in Atlanta and he's in Baltimore. And so, I told him I just relocated a few years ago from Baltimore to Atlanta. And and last year, I was in a long distance relationship that ended. So I don't believe long distance is for me. And, he was like, so you don't even want to give it a try with me? You don't want to give it a shot? And I was like, no, I know that long distance isn't for me. Now, I'm saying this to say that, we are amoebas. Your minds change and what have you. So here we are today. So after he asked me for all of these pictures and I sent him screenshots of our conversation to familiarize himself with who I am. So finally he said he remembered. And so he asked me, he was like, so you still don't want to try long distance? So I said, send me a picture because all I have is a name. I need to see who I'm talking to. Now, keep in mind, I did not contact this guy to spin the block. I did not contact this guy to reconnect. As a new YouTuber, I am trying to grow my YouTube. So I'm sharing my link to everyone in my contacts. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, Miss Nookie NN, I'm always promoting about this. I'm always promoting stuff. So the sole reason for my contact is love in progress. So he sends me the picture and I'm like, yeah, I do remember him. I remember why I swiped for him. And I remember that at that time, the only thing that was stopping me, it really was long distance. And I'll tell you about my long distance relationship and how that went awry as well. I'll probably end up telling you about that today. But yeah, I was just really sour about long distance. But since, he brought it up again, and yes, I saw his face again. I said, okay, so do you want to do you want to continue getting to know each other? Asked him that straight out. And he said, sure, why not? So we start texting each other, he asked me, what do I want in a partner? Now, these conversations, that type of question for me is, I would prefer to answer that face to face. But since we're here in text message, I give like a balcony view of what I want my partner to be. So I say something along the lines of, I want my partner to be my best friend. I want us to have fun. I want us to laugh. I don't want us to argue, but I want us to communicate effectively. Communicate effectively. You know, listen to understand, not to respond, you know, and I want someone who we know that we can work everything out together. Someone who values what's important to me. Now, that last sentence, I want someone who values what's important to me. That is something that I tell every man who I meet, because that has been the main pain point for me while dating. So he proceeds to tell me, he wants a wife, someone loyal, compassionate, loving, someone to build his empire with. And I kind of chuckled and I texted back, sounds like we're describing each other. And he laughed. And so we're just texting each other little questions here and there, and the conversation is going, and it bubbles up to around my lunchtime. So I tell him, all right, I'm gonna go out for lunch and I'll call you when I go out for lunch so we can talk. So as we proceed to talk, I ask him where he's from because I hear an accent. Mind you, we never talked back in August. It was all text, never on the phone, because I cut it right. I cut it right from the beginning. So this is our first time talking on the phone, and his name that was on Hinge, it was like a nickname. It wasn't an actual name. So I didn't know that he was from another country, which is fine. I have no problem with that. My family is Jamaican. Enough time to chat Patois over here, so I don't know already. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem dealing with a man from another country. Say that straight. So I hear his accent and we're talking, and and we're finding more and more things that we have in common. We found out that our birthdays aren't that far apart. I'm May 4th and he's May 12th. So, two Tauruses, which for me, it goes one way or another. So that was something that I noted in my mind, because I recently met, not recently, but last year, I met another Taurus who had the same exact birth date as him, May 12th. So, I did cringe a little bit because me and that May 12th Taurus, all we do is bump heads. And, maybe it's, the two bulls can't rule in one pen thing, whatever, but we bump heads. But so far, so good. Me and new dude, we're having good conversation. Everything seems really good. And it appears as if we're both in the same place, because he's no longer on the dating apps. And it seems as if we're both ready. We're both ready for our person. We're both ready to, pull the trigger and do the thing. So that's the type of conversation that we're having. He's a year younger than me. So we're of that age. We both want the same things. So to me, I'm like, okay, this is sounding wonderful. Because, same idea, talking. And so I have my lunch, and while I'm eating my lunch, I'm sorry, I need to rewind a bit. So when we were talking while I was on my lunch break, and I asked him where he's from, he told me he's from a country in Africa. And I told him my family's from Jamaica. So he started asking me, he told me he liked jerk chicken. And I said, yes, rice and peas and all of that. I said, I can cook it all. I said, what about jerk pork? Do you eat jerk pork? Do you eat pork just in general? And he said, no, he doesn't eat pork. He's Muslim. So once again, for me, that's another something that I'm going to need to discuss, something I'm going to have to hold on to. So, he says he doesn't eat pork and he tries to, stay healthy and everything like that. So I tell him, okay, well, I'm going to grab a bite to eat. So I'll text you when I get back to work. And so I go and I get my lunch, happened to be a sandwich. Actually, let you know. Yes, I got a tuna melt because that's also important for the day that I had. So I go and get my sandwich, and I'm sitting in this little square in downtown Atlanta by Georgia State, and I start thinking to myself, okay, there has to be more. I'm sorry, I have to back up again. While we were on the phone, because we didn't talk after this conversation, so I got to remember the conversation clear. So I have to remember the conversation. While we were talking, we were like really planning to move forward together. And so since he's in Baltimore, he was like, so when are you coming to Baltimore? So I respond, when are you buying my ticket to come to Baltimore? And he was like, well, since your work schedule is the way that your work schedule is, he was like, we can plan like a 3 or 4 day weekend. Let's talk about it tonight after you get home. We were planning to have a conversation tonight. He said, let's talk about it tonight when you get home and, flesh out the details. Because I told him I have taken some time off for Christmas, a good amount of time off for Christmas. So I have free time to travel for a few days or so. So this is the level that we're on. We're like having this conversation to really make moves to make it happen. So now I can tell this part. I'm eating, and a question pops up in my mind that I know I need to ask him this before we make plans, before this man spends money on me. I need this question answered because I don't believe in making men spend money for no reason. I don't believe in wasting time. Money, it's too hard to get, and we work too hard for our money for people to be frivolous with other people's money. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to accept something if I know it's not going to go anywhere. So the question I asked him, I said, when you envision your future, when you envision your wife, does she have to be Muslim? I don't assume anything. So I don't assume anything. I'm going to ask questions because I know people partake in religion on varying levels. I'm not here to tell anybody how they should be religious. I know that you're religious, and I just want to know what level, what are your non-negotiables, And he said, I hope, he said, I've always hoped that my wife would want to become Muslim. He said, however, my religion will allow me to marry someone who is Abrahamic, Jew, or Christian. Now, I am not religious. I'm spiritual. So I let him know this. So with me knowing that he has to be with someone religious, I say to him, I'm sorry that, I sent you this morning, and, that we've gotten here and we started making all of these plans, but, I'm going to just back away from this now because it's like we've hit yet another obstacle. The first obstacle was distance, and now this obstacle is religion. So, and I currently I am not up for jumping into anyone else's religion that I've never desired to be a part of. And I stated it that way because I said currently. That's where I am. I don't know where I'm going to be later, but that's where I am today, right now. So I told him, I said, I'm sorry. And I'm going to delete your number so I never contact you again. Because I don't want to play this cat and mouse game type of thing. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't want to play this cat and mouse because there will be times again that I'm going to send love and progress to everybody in my contacts. I know that I'm going to do that. So I don't want to disturb this man's peace anymore. So I let him know. And he gave me the best response. It was the best response that a man could give. He said, if you want a man to love you, and if you truly love a man, you should trust in him that he will lead you properly religiously and in all other areas of life. To which I do agree. I told him, my past history has shown that when I have submitted to men, the moment I speak up for myself about something I disagree with, or the moment I ask for something that they don't feel like doing, the relationship has ended. So I told him that. Now remember, I told him in the beginning, I want a partner who values what's important to me. So here I am being vulnerable to him, letting him know things I've gone through in the past. And this man responds by saying, you're funny. Well, I don't want a half feminine, half woman. Excuse me? He doesn't want a half feminine, half woman. So this is text message now. I respond back. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The moment I say something that a man doesn't like, it's like they lash out at me. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. All I did was state what has happened to me in the past, and now you're coming for me? And a very long time ago, I made a conscious decision to not tear down Black men. And today, I did not go back on my decision, but I was so infuriated that I'm being respectful to this man, I'm being open to this man, and the moment I say something you don't like, I'm half feminine and I'm half a woman? The fucking audacity. So when I sent the text and said, I'm sorry, I am going to delete your number and leave you alone, he responds, Yes. Delete my number. LOL. Love coach my ass. Which further infuriates me. If I wasn't a love coach, and if I wasn't invested in learning how to date properly, I would have never asked that question up front. I saved both of us fucking time. If I wasn't a love coach, I may have went to Baltimore on his dime. And then 6 months after he spent money on me and he tells me I have to convert, it would be over. That would have wasted both of our times. But for those of you or the people out there who think that love coaching is not needed, these are the things that love coaches help you do. They help you prepare to date. We sit together and we talk about negotiables and non-negotiables. And that's why I asked about religion, because that's one that's, that can become very tricky. Now, for me, I just want someone who allows me to be me. If I have a dream that I've been following, help me with that dream. Let's work on that together. I got excited when he said he was looking for someone to build his empire with, because that's what I'm looking for as well. And this man was already ready to have me start helping him. He's in entertainment and he's working on something in Africa, and he was like, we can talk about it tonight. I'll let you know what's going on, and how you can fill in and how you can help me. Like, but yet you become disrespectful the moment I stand up for myself and I respectfully try to leave the conversation, and you want to gaslight me. And I held it together. I held it together because I don't like giving people that type of energy over me. But as I was walking away, like, tears started to well up in my eyes, because I was respectable, I was open, I was honest, and I was direct. And all I got was gaslit the moment I said something he didn't like. And it's one of those things, with dating, it ebbs and flows. And today was just not the day that I needed to go through any BS like this. And I needed to come on here and share this with you guys, because I know many of you are going through similar things. And I know you're probably killing yourself saying, oh, I would have cursed him out, or I would have done this and I would have done that. No, we don't have to do that. You can walk away from the BS. You can walk away from the BS and find a friend to vent to. Shit. Schedule some time with me and talk to me about it. I'll help you talk through it. Because it's real, it's crazy, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, why is automatic submission such a thing? And I'm not trying to be one-sided about this either, because I have male friends. I have bona fide male friends who, when I have questions about men and the way that men think, because we do think differently, we do process information differently, and that's where the disconnect happens. Because right now I'm trying to figure out where the disconnect happened between me and dude for him to be so disrespectful and try to make it seem like I'm crazy because I'm not agreeing with, because I'm not just following him blindly. And when I spoke to my male friend and I explained to him the situation, he said, Nookie, he said, for me, he said, I'm the type of man where if I'm in that type of situation with a woman that I really want, I am going to show her. I'm going to show her that I am a true leader. I'm going to show her that I'm a leader. I'm not going to gaslight her. So there's my takeaway. Number one, he didn't want me. He didn't want me, number one. And number two, it reaffirmed to me that many people, men and women, are just not prepared to date. He could have handled that so much better. And what kills me is I feel like these are the type of situations that happen and end up on podcasts where men and women end up bashing each other. And it doesn't need to be that way. But can we stop normalizing gaslighting people just because they don't agree with you? Can we accept that people have a difference of opinion? And can we be mature enough to say, okay, it seems like it's just not going to work? And I did that. I said, we have hit two obstacles. So I'm just going to walk away. I'm not doing this a third time, especially not now. And it's like I keep running into these type of situations and I just don't understand it. But I'm beginning to believe that nice girls really don't make it. People like to take our kindness for weakness. But I just feel that Black men have so much up against them in their daily lives that I don't want to add to it. I'm not going to add to it by calling you out your name. I'm not. Black men, I love you. So I'm not going to do that. But stop expecting automatic submission. Submission is earned. Show me that you're a good man. Because you sure enough want me to show you that I'm a good woman. And hopefully, me showing you that I'm a good woman doesn't mean me just listening to you and mindlessly doing any and everything you tell me to do. If that's the type of woman you want, that's fine. But understand that there are women out there who may see the loopholes that you don't see, who can help you. Understand that there are women out there that have their own dreams and want you to support their dreams too. Because my mind started railing the moment he told me he was a Muslim. I envisioned, and please, this is my opinion, I just envisioned a life where I wouldn't be a love coach anymore because he wouldn't deem it necessary. Because I'm supposed to follow his lead. He made me feel like I would never have an opinion. I can't be with someone like that. I can't. I can no longer shrink myself for anyone. I've done it too many times. Too many times. And it just felt so familiar to the long distance relationship that I had. And what happened in that one was he just didn't listen to me. It was a long distance relationship. And, whenever we would see each other, we would talk. And for him, he was a man who doesn't celebrate holidays. Okay. Now, I'm a woman who grew up watching my father pamper my mother constantly, constantly buying her gifts just because gifts, Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas. So that's what I grew up watching. I became a love coach because of watching my parents and trying to figure out how to find what they had. So the whole basis of what I'm doing now, the whole basis of my life, he wants me to no longer desire that. And I was willing to give it a try. Hindsight being 2020, probably should have said no, but I said okay. And I looked at him and I said, okay, I'm fine with that, but I need you to understand that my birthday is very important to me. So you need to celebrate my birthday. I also said I like gifts. So you don't need to give me gifts on holidays, but you need to find reasons to celebrate me because I do like gifts. And he said, okay. That was around November. I want to say that was around November. And things are going good. And yes, I'm submitting to him. I'm allowing him. I'm allowing him to lead. And things are going good. My birthday rolls up. Now, me and the long distance relationship, we started off talking every day. And then, it slowly became further in between the communication. Time began to stretch. My birthday comes, I get no phone call. And I've gotten no gifts from him since I told him I accept. So I, of course, I agreed to no Christmas, no Valentine's, but I asked, find a reason to celebrate me. And I didn't blatantly say, you need to get me XYZ. Just find something to celebrate me. And I'm a firm believer that if you talk to someone enough, they give you hints as to things that are very special to them. So you can find little things for your person if you are truly tapped into them. If you are truly tapped into them, you will hear the things that they say and you will know how to make them feel special and you will know what to do to find little things to let them know that you care and that you listen, that you are paying attention. The day after my birthday, I send him a text. You missed my birthday. Oh, I'm so sorry. Happy birthday. That's it. That's it. So I don't say anything. Because my birthday is always the first. My birthday is the week before Mother's Day. Mother's Day comes, and you're an amazing mom, and I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. That was it. I was done. I was done. I said it to him. I said, so you really don't care about me, do you? What do you mean? We distinctly had a discussion and I told you what I needed from you and you completely ignored it. But yet you got everything that you ever asked me to do. And all I asked you to do was find reasons to celebrate me and don't forget my birthday. Everything you asked me, I submitted to you. I was that submissive woman for you and got absolutely nothing in return. So this is why when men come and to me and say that they want a submissive woman, I'll tell them submission is earned. Show me that you deserve my submission. And then you want to get upset. Oh, men are this and men are that. Show me. Because I know I can be a submissive woman, but I also know that I am going to ask for stuff. And if I am here showing up for you, you need to show up for me. If I'm choosing you every day, you need to choose me every day. Because if not, I'm gone. I am not out here dating from a space of desperation. So you cannot throw me a little bone and tell me that it's steak. You cannot give me a little bit of nothing and expect me to be grateful. No, I'm not going to do it. And ladies, many of you out there, I know that you have this idea in your mind that at a certain age, you should be this and you should be that. And you take things, you take attitudes from men that you know you really don't want just to say that you check the box. Stop doing that. Because there are a lot of men out here who think that they know everything a woman needs without asking the woman or without even listening. Can I have a man who listens to me? Can you listen? I sit, I listen, I hear what men say, I hear what men don't say. Because I'm a very intent listener. And I know that many times people order their words in a certain way. And I hear all of it. I can hear when men are hurting. They may say they're not, but I can hear in their words and the way they may respond to questions, I can hear when they're hurting. And I try to provide comfort. So can we all try to listen better while we're dating people? And while we're listening, and if we don't agree, just leave. There is no need to sit and make someone feel bad for standing up for themselves or for disagreeing with you. That's why we're not getting anywhere. Because we don't want to listen and then we want to ridicule. Why? And most of us have children. Most of us have children. So it just amazes me because what would you do? I've asked a man one time, what would you do if your daughter came to you and described what you do to me to you? What would you do? The look of fear that came over his face, because he never thought of it. He never thought of his actions and how they can trickle down and how just can we treat each other better? And I'm not just putting this on men to say men treat, but can we both just treat each other better? Can we prepare ourselves for relationships? And if you are on the dating sites, answer the religion question. Because I know I don't swipe for people who talk about religion a lot. I don't swipe right for them because I know that's not my path. I don't care how good they look. I just don't. I'm not giving myself false hopes. I just don't do it. But when you're on the apps, can you be true about what you want? There are so many men on the apps that'll put, make sure you're a real woman, make sure you don't wear lashes, make sure you've never had a BBL, but you're not going to put be willing to convert. So come on. If you're going to keep it real about what you want, keep it real all around and not waste people's time. Unless you're really not looking for your person and you're just looking for whatever you can get in the moment. And for those of you who need help, if you need help deciphering, what your negotiables and non-negotiables are, what your boundaries are, head on over to missnookie.com and I can help you. We can sit and talk and we can come up with a dating plan of action so you know in yourself what you want and you know when you're going to stand up for yourself and you know things that you're like, okay, we can come to a compromise on this because you're not going to get everything that you want. Every relation comes with some compromise. You just need to decide what you're willing to compromise. That's what it boils down to. So please, this today, this is Love Unscripted because I really needed to talk about this because I am here. I am down in the trenches with all of you. But I'm no longer wasting time. Had I met him, let's say 3-4 years ago, he would have been an ex by now. He would have been an ex. And we both would have a story about how we wasted our time. Because when we were ready to really get serious, we realized that in terms of religion, it wasn't going to work out. I know better now, so I do better. I waste less time. It's still frustrating as hell because I'm trying to be calm, to take my time, to be understanding. Just to be gaslit? Yeah. No, boo-boo. Miss Nookie is not the one. And for those of you out there, none of you are the one either. We're not doing it. We are walking away from people who can't accept a difference of opinion. We're walking away. We're not entertaining it. And I'm still going to send out text blasts, not to him, but I'm still going to send out text blasts. And if maybe someone else comes on a different level, I'll handle it differently. But I just wanted to come on here and just really air this out because it bothered me to my soul today. It bothered me to my soul that I was disrespected for standing in my truth. let's do better. Let's do better. So, with that said, I want to thank you. And please, next week, next week we'll be back to our scheduled programming with Love in Progress, the official episode 7, Dating with Clarity, How to Know What You Want and Stop Settling. I'm Miss Nookie, and I look forward to speaking with you guys next week. And always remember, because love isn't perfect, but it's always in progress. Have a good one.